Enjoy.
Tighten the seatbelt. In overtime. Temple. The ball taken away by Beverley. And he's fouled. Avery Bradley. Gilgeous-Alexander changes direction. O'Neal, what a play by Gilgeous-Alexander. What a play. Lay it up. Oh, with 3 tenths of a second. He pulled that one out of his back pocket.
All right, welcome back, Whitlock and Wiley. We're joined now by a legendary broadcaster, the voice of the Clippers, Ralph Lawler.
Yes.
Me, oh my, he's in his 40th and final season with the team. Ralph, I want to start with a question. Have you ever seen the movie Fatal Attraction? Do you remember that movie?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so Fatal Attraction is what I think of when I think of Marcellus. He loves the Clippers. And I'm wondering how the Clippers
Hey,
feel
watch
about...
out for him, huh?
Yeah, I wonder how the Clippers feel about Marcellus. Is he a fatal attraction?
Well, no, they love Marcellus because he's always been an outspoken voice, sometimes in settings that you wouldn't expect to be too kind to the Clippers, and he's always been a good fan, and we appreciate it.
No, appreciate that. Now, I'm going to try and be professional up here, despite my fandom. Obviously, if you look at talking to you and this team, you're a living legend. You've seen a lot of Clippers years, and good years, bad years. But what's the reason behind the success for this team this year? A lot of people call this a starless team, but they're out there playing winning basketball.
They got some guys who are playing like stars, too, Marcellus, to be true. But I think this is kind of a transitional year for the team, not a rebuilding year, because owner Steve Ballmer just won't put up with that. He's not going to tear it down to the studs like Philadelphia did with their process kind of a thing. And they went out and got a bunch of hard-nosed, competitive, hard-working guys who have kind of been under the radar. And it has just really fit. And I think Doc Rivers is he's a former coach of the year, but he's having his best year coaching ever. He's really managed the talent, managed the minutes. When you've got like 12 or 13 guys who are really quality rotation type players, and you only play 8, 9, or 10 of them in a given night, it's a real chore for the coach. He's done a great job.
Yeah, and you talk about being in those settings at times where it wasn't the fashionable thing to support the Clippers. I'll be there Friday at a Lakers home game versus the Clippers. Look, the Civil War is going to happen. We're going to find out that result. But who's the better team in L.A. and why?
I think the Clippers are, I tell you the truth, because of the team's depth. I really do. They're less vulnerable to injury than the Lakers. I mean, I hope and I believe that LeBron's not going to be out for long. I hope he plays tomorrow night because the Clippers want to beat the Lakers at their best, not without their star marquee player. But the Clippers have won 21 of the last 25 meetings between the two.
Yes.
3-1 last year. I just don't see any reason that that should change. But the City Series is really, really fun. And any Lakers watching this right now, though I think they're traveling to Sacramento right now, maybe not watching, are going to go, oh, yeah? Well, you go, old guy. We'll see you tomorrow night. But,
there you go. I mean, being the voice of the Clippers for 40 years, let's talk about some of those dark years and maybe a shining moment despite all of the losing at that time.
Well, it was tough. We first came here in 1984, and nobody even noticed. I would go to the drugstore, grocery store with a Clipper jersey on or a Clipper cap, and people would go, what's a Clipper? And once you told them, it was, oh, no, I'm a Laker fan. They go, oh, okay. It was that way for a number of years through a bunch of coaches and a bunch of players that largely didn't want to be here. It was a real challenge to everybody in the organization. Then in the 90s, we had a couple of pretty good runs, and we eventually got Larry Brown as a coach, and Mike Dunleavy had some good years with the club. But it's been a process. But we had one season we won 10 and lost 72, I think, and I enjoyed every single game.
Wow.
All 82 games. I loved going to work. I loved the games. I love the sport. I love the craft of broadcasting, as I'm sure you guys love looking and coming in here, and talking sports for a couple hours each day. I just love doing it. And if during some of the worst seasons, if you can find a reason to have people still watching, you're down by 20 in the first quarter, I remember a few of those, to keep watching the second, third, and the fourth quarter, then you're doing your job. My wife, who's the greatest Clipper fan ever, she'll be all upset after the Clippers lose a ball game. If I had a great show on radio or TV, I'm like, all right. And she, what are you so happy about?
Right.
I said, well,
Ralph, I want to ask one quick question. I don't want to ask who the greatest Clipper is. Who's the Clipper you were closest to, friend-wise? Who closest connection to that you maybe liked the most?
well, Bill Walton probably fits that bill, but World Be Free was another one from, way back in the day. Quentin Richardson and Darius Miles a little more recently in the first part of the new millennium. And this group today has got some wonderful, quality people, from Harrison Gallinari to the two guys from Serbia, Teodosic and Marjanovic, the big 7'3" giant. They're all special people, and Patrick Beverley has his own little personality, a fiery, guy. But they're all good family guys. They're all good guys, and they all work their tails off every night, and I admire anybody that does that.
Well, Ralph, you're a special person to our show, to Jason and I, especially me being a Clipper fan. Clip City, Chip City. So on behalf of our show, we want to give you just a little token of our appreciation. Oh,
Whoa,
come out.
Whoa.
And we know you're retiring at the end of the year, so what better?
I will use this.
Yes.
Yeah, we live right near the Deschutes River. I love that.
Perfect.
There you go.
This will get used. I'll thank you guys often. Oh, boy.
I appreciate you,
All right,
Ralph.
thank you, Ralph.
Thank
Coming
you.
up.
Thank you.
All right.
Mark Cuban says European players are better prepared for the NBA. Jim Jackson and Butler tell us what they think